Obviously, it's springtime. Weather outside is 80 degrees and breezy. Perfect golf weather. Excited to host and honored to host the 41st annual Louisiana Classics. Hard to believe, 41 years, and I've been fortunate to be a part of 18. This will be the 18th for me, so very appreciative of that. We have a great field. I got to cheat and look at my sheet. We added a late team here last 2 weeks ago, but us obviously hosting Louisiana. We have Texas A&M, Little Rock, Michigan, Middle Tennessee, Texas State, Sam Houston, South Isle, La Tech, North Texas, Oral Roberts, Illinois State, Lamar, Southern Illinois, New Mexico State, and then a late edition of East Tennessee State. So a very competitive field. I believe almost half of the field is close to inside the top 100, if not just outside. Yes, play starts 36 holes on Monday, followed by Tuesday's 18-hole final, finishing on the 9th hole where Dan and Danny Jones will be, doing the broadcast that we've been very fortunate for about 10 years, I believe, huh, Dan? Maybe if not a little bit longer, which is really unique to our event. You know, you don't see that in college golf much, the ESPN coverage. So thank you, Dan, for that. It's pretty special. Season so far, we've competed twice. We went down to another long historic event, the Border Olympics. And we didn't quite perform the way we really wanted to or expected to, but we followed up the next week with a second place finish out in Las Vegas, and saw something we hadn't seen since Malan's freshman year, if I'm not mistaken. We had all 5 of our guys in the final round shoot under par. So that was pretty nice to see 2 seniors and then 2 freshmen also contribute. And it's nice to see these freshmen learning from these upperclassmen, kind of passing the torch to them. But yeah, we're looking forward to a busy March with a little bit of a break in April and then conference right around the corner. So thank you guys for all you do for us, and really want to promote our tournament and get as many people as we can out there. Free lunch on Monday and Tuesday. Everybody wants to know the lunch menu. Pastelaya on Monday at the turn by the Noto boys. And then we have quite a few food trucks showing up on Tuesday. And I guess I'll leave it at that to maybe not to recruit people. You have to come out to see what food trucks will be there. But very appreciative of those vendors helping us out. It adds even more to the tournament.
So who would you say is like going into the tournament favorite, and how would you kind of compare it to this field of recent years?
Yeah, so from a team standpoint, probably Little Rock and A&M would probably be the better ranked favorites there. Individually, this guy sitting next to me is who I have my money on, defending champion, and not probably. I'm going to be arrogant where he's not. He's the best player in the field from an individual standpoint. So looking forward to his final classics.
So as far as who's in charge, I heard y'all kind of talking earlier. Who have you put in charge of the weather?
I'm not taking ownership on that one, but if you want a piece in it, Kev, you could certainly. But yeah, the forecast does, but it's South Louisiana, and a lovely old saying. It looks like there's going to be rain, but there's a beautiful old saying by a very wise man that said, the golf clubs don't know it's raining. So that mindset will be very very important for these young men to have that mindset.
So is it easier or harder to play in your own tournament?
It's been so long since I played, and I'm an old has-been. I'm gonna let you ask that young man that question. But no, you asked about the field. Yeah, I think this is an extremely competitive field. It is unfortunate. We wish that, we're playing baseball Wednesday night against LSU here in Lafayette. It is unfortunate. I wish that LSU was in this field. I think they add to it, and I think this community would want to see them there, particularly with some Louisiana boys on their roster that I'm very friendly with. So disappointed, and hey, you got to take care of your own program, so they're doing what they're doing, but it would be nice to have them in this field. It would add a lot.
This is your only home event of the year. Is there less pressure because of course knowledge? I'll ask Malan the same thing. or is it more pressure because you're at home?
Yeah, Dan, I can speak, I guess, as a player from years ago. And I noticed that the European Tour did it this way, and you were involved with the Louisiana Open for many, many years. The European Tour would give like 7 sponsors exemptions, but they would take one of their players and give those to their player would go to these other countries and receive the same sponsors exemption. So that player wasn't playing in front of a home crowd. And, as much as it where there is pressure, I guess is what I'm getting at. When you can go off and play in West Texas and, you don't have every fan and every member of Oakbourne telling you how to play the course and how much they expect out of you, it does add pressure to them. But they need to learn to handle that, right? They need, and I think Malan can speak to that from experience. He handled some pretty big time pressure on that 54th hole for sure last year, and then in the playoff, and came out on top. So no better person to answer that question than Malan. But I think you want to play well for your fans. You want to play well for Oakbourne. You want to play well for you guys. Their families sometimes come and watch them, so they want to play well for their families. But it's all something they need to learn to manage. And particularly, if he's going to play at the next level, that pressure is going to be week in and week out for a paycheck. So no better way to start than now, right?
Okay. All right. Pass it over to Malan with the slide. Questions here, unless anybody else for Coach? Okay. All right. And we'll open up for questions for Malan.
Well, we had talked about, do you feel like it's harder or easier to play in the home tournament?
That's a hard one. I think it's harder if you let it, and it's easier if you let it. So like it can be both. Sometimes even in the same round or on the same 9. It really just depends how you handle it. I think there's a side of comfort knowing the course so well. Like there's not really a shot out there anymore that you haven't hit before, and you probably haven't hit a good shot from that spot before. So there's a bit of comfort knowing you've been in this spot and you've hit a good shot from here. But then I wouldn't say there's more expectation, but you want to play well, but you need to learn how to manage those expectations. So it's a bit of both, but I like it, and I like playing in front of a home crowd.
In what parts of your game do you feel like you're even better than you were last year?
I think my ball striking is a little bit better than it was last year. I remember last year I had a few stretches where I wasn't hitting it great, but I kind of just found a way to get the ball in the hole. But you grow. It's a year later. I think I've had more experiences where I was in the mix, and I'd like to think that I've grown over the last year and on all parts of my game.
I don't want to give away too many clues, like you said, but do you feel like Oakbourne, your game fit perfectly in Oakbourne, or is this not really like the model course for the way you play?
I think it suits me. It's more of an open course. There's not that many hazards or out of bounds. I'm a longer hitter, so I can kind of take advantage of that and have a lot of wedges into a lot of greens if I drive it well. And even now and then when you don't drive it well, you can still get a lucky break because you can find your ball and hit it again. But I think a lot of it comes down to putting, because the greens are going to be quick as they are normally, and there's a lot of slopes. So especially if the wind can pick up a little bit or something like that. I think it suits my game pretty well, which is probably why I won here last year. So yeah, I like it.
What are your memories from last year?
There's a lot. It was awesome being in the last group and then playing with 2 of the best players in the country last year. It was Pikash from A&M and Alphonse from LSU. So it was kind of cool and scary at the same time to know they're chasing me. But yeah, at the end to fend them off and come down the stretch. And then, obviously I had the oops on the last hole, but then I kind of redeemed myself on the playoff. So there's a lot of good memories.
Coach just said you're the best player in the tournament. Any extra stress with that?
No. I like to think a lot of the events we go to, I believe I'm the best player in the field. So it's kind of just the same as those ones. But yeah, no, I appreciate Coach speaking highly of me.
you've been, since last year, you played in the U.S. Amateur, you just recently played in the Africa Amateur. How much will that help you going forward, not just for the rest of your last college season, but then going forward after that?
Yeah, I mean, you always want to play in bigger events where you have like the tournaments of Africa now had cameras on every hole, and which is something I wasn't used to, and having like there was a lot of attention and a lot going on, where you had live TV the whole time too, which is, I mean, this is the only tournament we have in college that we play. We have TV coverage, but so yeah, it's good to get used to stuff like that, and you want to kind of get as close as you can to professional events. So yeah, no, it's good, and you learn a lot for sure.